Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show, the final segment. My guests right now, Rachel Rose and Deandra Simmons. They're both involved in UNICEF. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, why don't we start with you, Rachel? You guys had a big gala last night, and it was all to benefit UNICEF. For those people who don't know of UNICEF, they've heard of it, but they're not sure what it is, why don't you give us the kind of 101? What is UNICEF?
UNICEF is an organization that came about in the end of World War II as a United Nations initiative. And the goal was just to provide basic needs to children in the aftermath of the war. It became an official part of the United Nations in 1953, and since that time, UNICEF provides disaster relief as well as basic needs and medical vaccines and so forth to children throughout the world.
And I don't know if this was part of your childhood, but my childhood, I think I remember at school they passed out little, they look like milk cartons, and kids put pennies in them. Was that, Deandra, was that part of your childhood?
Yes, and they also have a program, a Halloween trick-or-treat program, where they accept donations as well. And it's a way to teach your children how to give back. And I think it's a really great program. And UNICEF it's touched my heart. It's helped more children than any other humanitarian or developmental agency in the world. And I think it's a great organization. I've been working with them for 2 years. But I do remember growing up, and I don't know if you know about the cards at Pier 1.
No.
You can buy the Christmas cards, and they're designed by children. They vote on them. And so that's another way that they raise money, and Pier 1 has been a wonderful supporter of UNICEF.
That's
as well
awesome.
For about 30 years.
And your family has been involved in UNICEF for a while now. Talk a little bit more about your family.
Yes, my cousin, Serena Simmons Connolly, she kind of spearheads the Let Us Learn initiative here. And that's really the arm of UNICEF, the education arm. And so I don't know if you're familiar that about 59.3 children in primary education are not getting educated, and 64.8 million in the lower in the secondary school. And 34 million are in countries that have been affected by war and different problems that are marginalized. So UNICEF, the Let Us Learn arm, is part about the educating. And it happens in Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Liberia, Madagascar. So that's really an initiative to educate. And what I really respect about it is it's really geared towards girls, because girls are the ones that are marginalized and they're not being educated, and disabled children as well. So Let Us Learn is really an initiative for education and for women, and for helping develop good, women that are educated and that can go out into this world and make a difference. And, they do make a difference because UNICEF helps them.
Absolutely. Rachel, have you had a chance to see some of the recipients of UNICEF dollars? Have you been able to travel and meet some of the people who benefit from the generous donations?
I'm new to the Southwest Regional Board this year, so having just come on to the board, I have not gone on any of the trips to the various areas that UNICEF serves. However, having spoken with women who have gone to those sites, it's overwhelming. And to hear Alyssa Milano speak last night, as Deandra said, at the gala, she alone is responsible for raising approximately $60 million through her various work and initiatives with UNICEF. And the heartfelt look in those children's eyes, I think, says it all.
Wow. And Deandra, you've traveled the planet. I know from looking at it, you have YouTube videos with yourself posing in different pictures across the globe. What have you experienced?
Well, actually, Jeff, I have experienced exactly what UNICEF does. I haven't been on a UNICEF mission trip. However, my husband's a photojournalist, so I've traveled with him. We tend to go to third world countries on vacation, and when we do that, we always work in the capacity of exploring different people and working with children. So this last year, we were in Namibia, and we did a story in a trash dump. Children that were living in the trash dump because their parents had either passed away from HIV/AIDS or they had just been marginalized for some reason in society. So I have worked there. We've worked in Djibouti and in Kenya, in India. So I have seen firsthand what these children and what these families are going through, what these women are going through. So that's why I really appreciate the mission of UNICEF. And I hope to be able to go on my first UNICEF trip at the end of the year. to Madagascar. So we'll see. I'm supposed to be going. I'm hoping to go.
Awesome.
Those trips are hard to get to go on, though. There is a long line of people that want to go.
my guests right now, Rachel Rose and Deandra Simmons, are both passionate about UNICEF. I think the website is unicef.org. Is that right? Or is there
That's
another
correct.
website they should go to?
No, that's it.
Okay, perfect. I want to also talk about your for-profit business because both of you have very fascinating jobs as entrepreneurs. Rachel, let's start with you. You are an attorney by trade, and tell us more about your practice.
So my practice is primarily based in healthcare and securities law, and then I work with startup companies and entrepreneurial businesses. Deandra is in fact one of my clients, as is her husband, Jeremy Locke, and through that, I'm able to deal with a variety of issues. I also teach bioethics at Baylor College of Medicine, but having an MBA and a law degree and being able to assist clients from both the business side and the legal side has been invaluable for both me and the clients.
Well, you're very modest, and so I'm not going to let you brag on yourself. I'll have Deandra do it. What is it like being a client of Rachel's?
Rachel's very thorough. She's also someone that she follows through. She's a go-getter. So if I say, Rachel, I need to find out how to contact this person or how to get this done, she'll do it. She gets in the trenches. I want to say that in a very nice way because she does do her due diligence and her background work. She's an excellent attorney. She gets results. So that's why I appreciate her. And she works very efficiently with somebody like me who has a skincare business, and then my husband who is a photojournalist. So working in both of those, she can kind of straddle both those businesses and do an excellent job as an attorney for both of us. And she also acts as an agent. I will say that as well. So she's very capable in all of those areas.
And she's absolutely brilliant. We had coffee one afternoon at Highland Park Village, and I was looking at your bio, and it's just magna cum laude this and that. And I mean, you're like just a who's who in terms of your law practice. But you also had this heart for giving back, which I think makes you very attractive. Does that come from mom or dad, or where'd that come from?
Both. And it's interesting that you said that. My father was in healthcare as a hospital CEO. And so I grew up with him serving on the boards and taking us to sports practices and things of that nature. And then my mom was more in the trenches. And so she would raise money for the hospital auxiliaries and for different organizations throughout the community and also volunteer in the schools. So growing up, I saw that balance of not only serving in leadership positions, but also being on the ground, which is what Deandra said too. It's one thing to be on the board. It's another thing to go and be a part of the auction committee or to go and visit the organizations and help people at the ground level. And so it's something that's been instilled. For me, I started volunteering in a hospital when I was 14 years old, and that's just something that's carried through me through my sorority, which is Tri Delta, and we do a lot of work with St. Jude's and other opportunities in the junior league, which Deandra and I are both involved with. That just opened doors and balances the professional life with the personal and philanthropic.
Outstanding. Okay, Deandra, let's talk about your company. I think it's very exciting. Hard Night, Good Morning. Why don't you
like that name?
Yes, it's awesome. It's a great name. Okay, so tell us how your company was born.
Well, my mother has been in the nutrition and skincare industry. Actually, she was in the nutrition industry, and I developed her skincare line about 18 years ago. And then in 2008, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and develop my own skincare line. So it's natural aloe vera-based skincare. We sell on our web, hardnightgoodmorning.com, to Whole Foods, Central Market. So it's in natural food stores as well, and also in different online web stores too. But I love it. I love the name. And you think Hard Night Good Morning, it could mean anything from party princess, okay? Party princess, it's had a hard night. Or a soccer mom with 3 kids that have been sick and had the flu all night. Or a CEO like Rachel, or an attorney like Rachel, or CEO like myself that takes the red eye. She's always on a plane. So there's so many. My mother says she's 75. She's a hot flash hottie, so that's her hard night. So there's lots of ways. Hard Night Good Morning means a lot of things. It doesn't have to just mean the obvious party girl.
So I gave you a chance to brag about Rachel. Rachel, why don't you brag about Deandra? What's impressed you most about her and her kind of entrepreneurial smarts?
Several things have impressed me about Deandra, and I think it goes back fundamentally to our previous guest with the seeds and the heart. And I can honestly say that Deandra leads with her heart in everything that she does, whether it's her business or UNICEF. She's always helping other people. And like I do my due diligence in the law, she does her due diligence with the ingredients that she puts into all of her products. They're all natural. I'm allergic to everything, and I can use her products. But I believe it's the combination of her business savvy as well as her heart that makes her and her products so remarkable.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to brag on you because so my daughter and I had lunch with you. It's probably been 3 years ago. And I think one of the things that TV news taught me was to look in somebody's eyes and kind of feel the spirit behind the eyes. And for those of you who don't know Deandra and Rachel, you're both extremely beautiful women. But it's the inner beauty that I was most attracted to when we sat down for lunch 3 years ago. And when I told my daughter Sarah, hey, Deandra may be coming into the studio, she's like, oh my God, I love her.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's talk about the inner beauty, and obviously your skincare is amazing. But in terms of women working on their inner beauty, talk about that.
Well, the reason I am in the beauty business is because I think that every woman has the capability of being beautiful. I also think that working on the inside is just as important as working on the outside. And so we have to kind of take both into consideration. And what really is at the core of my heart is my core value system. I'm a strong Christian. I have a very strong prayer life. And so those things are very important to me. I'm very loyal to my friends. On the other hand, I'm a straight shooter, and a lot of times that gets me in trouble, but I will tell you exactly what I think, and I'm not going to beat around the bush or mince words, but that's just one of my personality traits, and I think it's hard to find people like that. Rachel's a straight shooter too, and I have just found that that's the most effective way for me in business. But then I'm true and authentic to my heart, and I stay grounded. Trying to dance around an issue or not be authentic, I think, is not something that's for me. I want to be who I am, and philanthropy is at my heart. It's at the cause of almost everything I do, helping others. And the Bible says too much is given, much is required. Wow. And I try to live that to the best of my ability every day. I don't always succeed. Sometimes I have some hard nights, but I try to make the best of the good mornings,
Right. Okay, well, let's talk about the outer beauty because I think your skincare line is aloe-based. And
yes.
Aloe, really, we've known about that for generations. How talk about the secret of aloe and why that's so important.
So aloe delivers nutrients to a cellular level. So with regards to skincare, if you have a skincare product that's water-based, what do you know about water? Living in Texas, water evaporates. If you put some water out on the street in the middle of the hot sun, it's going to evaporate. Aloe vera penetrates. So if you have actives and botanicals to deliver into the layers of the skin, the aloe is going to be much more efficacious in doing that.
Wow. We're going to have you both back as guests. We could spend the whole hour talking about this. Okay, let's get both of your websites. Again, the nonprofit is unicef.org. Mm-hmm. Rachel, what's your for-profit website?
Mine's www.rvrose.com.
And Deandra?
www.hardnightgoodmorning.com.
Fantastic. Thank you for being on the Jeff Crilley Show, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you, Jeff.
KFXR, Dallas, Fort Worth. Talk Radio 1190.
An iHeartRadio station.